Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
10 things you will only learn about Brazilians by visiting Brazil.
you say like
Now, look, I'm learning Portuguese, so I had a good idea about this because in a lot of podcasts, they say this is like a big cultural difference between Americans and Brazilians. But I had no clue of the extent that it goes to. So look, if you know any Brazilian out here, you know Brazilians take showers 3 times a day or more. Like every time you turn around, you'll have a Brazilian friend telling you, hey, I'm about to go take a shower.
Yeah, we did that. We saw that in one of the other reactions, and that was very interesting in the review.
Hey, I'm just getting out the shower. Or hey, I'm thinking about taking a shower. It's that serious. They take a lot of showers. And look, you live in places like Rio or Salvador, it makes a lot of sense because it's constantly hot and constantly sweating. And look, it does not end at showers. If you ever have a Brazil friend come over, you will get a lecture if you have something laying on the bed, something on the kitchen counter that's not supposed to be there.
So guys, about the shower, so if you do take 3 showers a day, how long does each shower last then? Because that's important too. Like if it's a quick shower, like 3 minutes just to refresh yourself, one thing. But if it's like, 15, 20, 30 minute shower, that's a lot of time of the day to showering, so guys, let us know.
Something out of order. You will get a lecture about this. They will tell you, why is this here? Why isn't this hung up? Why is this messy? They do not like this at all. Guys, number 2, Brazilians love live music. And when I say love live music, they love live music. I've seen things in Brazil I've never seen anywhere else. Let's check out somebody's page who is from Brazil, right? Go through some of the posts, look at stuff. You see a lot of the music they put on their tags and their stories, all that stuff has live music. So a lot of times,
I think that's maybe Latin American thing overall too. Because here in Miami too, like we see those Latin bars, it's always like loud music playing, So could be not exclusive to Brazil.
you'll see titles like this where it'll say Ludmilla ao vivo, which is live. So Brazilians prefer the live version of music over the recorded version. And a lot of them will put that.
That's what he means, I guess. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, we like live music over recorded too, so that's natural.
Posting tags and everything instead of the original recorded version. It's actually crazy. And if you come to Brazil, you'll know why.
I find this hilarious because think about looking for a Drake song to put on your IG story and you say, nah, I need the version he performed in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, he's misrepresenting it a little bit. That's not how it is. They put out the live versions like in a live studio setting. It's not like in a concert setting. So that's what...
I think how I understood him is that he can understand why someone can live the live version better than the recorded version, because sometimes I do go look for certain songs because I know they sound better live.
Yeah.
Like there's something different about it you don't get in the recorded version.
Yeah, but what he's saying is he's comparing the live version, the al vivo version, to like Madison Square Garden performance. It's not the same thing. Like the live versions are like official live versions. Like like a Vivo live. You know how we do live Vivo performance? That's what they would put on. They wouldn't
I was thinking live from concert live.
No, it's like Vivo live performances.
Live music is everywhere. My go-to samba, everywhere. It's ingrained in the culture. So people really love the live sound of instruments, the live crowd reaction, and the live energy. Alright guys, number 3, teeth. Teeth is insanely important in Brazil. One of the first things Brazilians look at is your teeth. And if you come to Brazil, you'll understand why. Dentists here must be rich. I have Brazilian friends. Every week, what are you doing? I'm going to the dentist. Okay?
I think he's exaggerating a little bit.
That's the first time we heard that.
Guys, do you go to the dentist every week? I think he's exaggerating a little bit.
The dentist, I'm going to the dentist again. They go to the dentist a lot here. You will not see too many Brazilians with jacked up teeth. It's not a part of the culture. They love their teeth. It's super important. I believe it starts at a very young age. In elementary school, middle school, they make sure they have braces. They make sure they have their teeth straight. They have to make sure they have their teeth whitened. And they keep that custom going and going and going.
That's why I think he lives there. That's how I'm taking this.
Adulthood. So it's a super good custom they have here. Unlike Americans, a lot has changed, but back in my day, we really started worrying about teeth in like high school. I know a lot of the elementary students now are getting it way earlier, but big difference. And one of the primary reasons is dental prices in Brazil are astronomically more affordable. Also, the insurance here for dental procedures and the issues is way different than the U.S., covers way more things, and emphasizes more in the early ages. Alright guys, number 4, the Big Bang. See, I'm not like those other YouTubers who gonna say the reason you came here for number 9 and 10. Now, I'm not gonna
He said the Big Bang.
do that. So we're gonna get into the first point, why some people think Brazilians are liars. And another huge difference, probably for me the biggest difference between Brazilian culture and American culture, and that's Brazilians do not like to directly say no to invitations. So if you meet a Brazilian, you talk to them, they will tell you, hey, yeah, I can meet at this time.
Yeah, but they don't show up. They're basically a no-show. Yeah, I think that's what he's. Because remember in Germany, they said if you say yes, you don't need to reconfirm. And I think when we did the lady about the Brazilians, she said like, oh, you have to like keep reconfirming.
Hey, yeah, we should go out. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Hey, yeah, we could go here. But the truth is, they may just not want to tell you no to your face because it's looked at as very, very rude, and they don't like to do it. So a lot of times you'll hear, oh, sure, we could do it. Okay, yeah. It won't be convincing yet.
Yeah, the lady said, what she said is like, oh yeah, you make plans and then you never see a person again. That's the phrase she used.
Yes. And most Brazilians know when you don't get a yes, and even maybe when you do get a yes, it still may turn out that they're not coming. But culturally, they understand each other, and culturally, they know when, all right, this person probably won't show up. As Americans, when they say, oh, sure, we can do this, we think, all right, this person's going to be there. But in reality,
I think, again, depends where you're from America, because here in Miami, it's kind of the same thing. I think that's, again, maybe not so much Brazilian as much as Latin as a whole, because people are very flaky here. Yeah? Like, you have to confirm, like, basically a week before and then the night before, maybe even the same day. Oh, are we meeting today? So, like, I think that's more. It's to us. I don't think that's nothing new. But if you somewhere else, I guess, where people don't do that, then maybe.
they want to tell you no to your face. Americans tend to be one of the most direct speakers in the world. There's a lot of studies on this. A lot of cultures who don't like to directly reject people to their face. And ones who do, and America is up there. I'm not gonna harp on this a lot, guys, because I gotta make this video kind of short.
Oh, he's referencing her. That's the one we reacted
to. But I will say, it goes to the extent that there's even kind of a phrase in Brazil that doesn't translate well to English, and it's pode ser, and that means it could be, and they use that a lot. Pode ser, it could be, which can mean yes, but of course. Could mean no, because
most likely no.
Like, it's yes or it's not. And a lot of Brazilians, when you talk to them, they'll say sure. I think that's the best way to translate it in English is sure. And
yeah, I think sure is what I was thinking as well. Like sure, yeah, sure,
like
sure.
Considering.
I've gotten that a lot of times. Like, hey, can we go here? Sure. And what they really want to say is pode ser. I got number 5. And this could basically be seen as a payment plan. It's getting a little more popular now in the States with like Klarna or I think Afterpay, stuff like that. But here, when you come to Brazil, you'll hear a lot of Brazilians and you'll see a lot of stores talking about parcels. And that's basically a payment plan. It's an opportunity to pay things payment by payment. And this can go up to 8 to 12 times, if I'm correct. And it is extremely popular here. I don't know many Brazilians who pay for things like American 100%. Most Brazilians pay things with parcels or in this payment plan program, and it's engraved.
Guys, so are a lot of Brazilians in debt because of that? Because that's basically debt. So I kind of wonder, are people like struggling with debt? Because because there's interest on those purchases. I assume they're not interest free, or are they? Because if they're interest free, then nobody's making money. And no way somebody's going to offer you a loan without interest. So they have to be with interest, you know.
In the whole system here, flights have the option. When you go to stores, they have the options. Credit cards have this option. It's just what it is. If you live in Brazil, you will definitely hear about this parcel system that they have here, and everybody does it. You may get asked about this. I've had people from Brazil ask me to bring them things from the U.S. and they'll pay me in parcels, or they're asking me to pay in parcels and stuff like that. And it took a long time for me to understand what the heck they were talking about until I finally realized, oh, okay, a parcel of 8 is you'll have 8 payments to fully pay this thing off. All right, guys, forgive me. We're gonna be moving extreme.
That's interesting. You bring someone something, and 8 payment. The person, you never see the person get after the first payment.
Especially, that's what I said.
Yeah, for they say, yeah, sure, 8 payment, sure, yeah, after the first payment, deuces.
Bye.
Really fast because my camera is not going to hold up that much longer. Number 6. All right, number 6, guys. Check this out. This one is extremely important. Brazilians are extremely more affectionate than other countries and 100 times more affectionate than the U.S. And I say this not because I've been here and I've been having super deep conversations with people, but I have noticed through TV shows, through being here, that Brazilians are more affectionate, more open, and particularly in male culture, I've seen a lot of Brazilian men not afraid to cry, with the freedom to show their emotions, wear their emotions on the sleeves, and not be judged for it. I've seen a lot of physical touching between friends, family, between men that I have never seen in the U.S. If you watch any show on Netflix, like I said, I'm trying to learn Portuguese. I watch a lot of Brazilian shows, and you'll see all the time men crying, men touching, like a father touching his son's lip.
Is like how long he's lived in in Brazil.
We can read his bio afterwards, check him out.
Just signs of emotion, signs of endearment that we just don't have in the U.S. That if in the U.S. you'll probably get misjudged or some silliness will come up. So it's just not a part of the culture, and I think that's kind of crazy. All right, guys, number 7, and this one goes back to the other point about what's rude here is not rude there. And I can tell you, Brazilians will ruin some shows for you. So stay cautious if you actually.
I guess spoilers. They like to spoil
the Brazilian about a show. For example, I asked a friend, "Hey, did you see the show?" And they'll say, "Yeah, I got mad because this person married this person in the end." And you're like, seriously, dude? But it's because of the cultural difference. I guess in Brazil, it's not rude to tell somebody how something ends or what happens. And in America, it's very rude, and people will get
you have to say spoiler. You have to say spoiler alert, or let them know. Did you ask them if you finished watching so we can discuss?
I've never in my life thought about it. I've never thought about it. Should I just go along?
No, you
mad because I was extremely mad. Guys, number 8, and I find this one to be pretty cool, to be honest. Brazilians have a very rebellious nature. What do you mean by that? Well, it's hard to explain, but I'll give you 2 examples. Alright, so guys, when I came into the country this time, I was online, right? And there was just one line. And if you travel, you guys know it's usually citizen line and foreigner line. For whatever reason, the immigration guy told everybody to go on the foreigner line. But as the line started getting longer, another immigration agent told citizens to go this way. Well, obviously, there were citizens on the immigration line, so they seen the other citizens getting faster. Oh my goodness, they gave that immigration officer who told him to get on the foreign line a butt whooping. They asked him, why did you tell us to get on this line? Now we're late, now we're taking longer, all of this stuff. And it was a really you shouldn't have done that. So that was a very interesting situation. All right, guys, example number 2. So it was
I feel like here we don't really mess with the immigration. At least as a foreigner, as an American, maybe if I'm American, what they gonna do to me? Not allowed to my own country, maybe. But as a foreigner, I would never say nothing to an immigration officer. Yeah.
Like coming back to the U.S. From Brazil, so there were a lot of Brazilians on it, and of course the flight got delayed. The Brazilians came together, and I know they were Brazilian because they were speaking Portuguese, and they just put this big arms together. They all started going crazy, all started giving the flight attendants a butt whooping, which was really for the airline, of course. But it just shows that, they have a rallying spirit. They have a spirit of, speaking on stuff when it's not right. And that makes a lot of sense when you look at Brazilian politics. They're very passionate when it comes to certain issues. So it was just something I find interesting. All right, guys, number 9 in the second piece to the Are Brazilians Liars title is Brazilians are known to be late. So if you tell a Brazilian to come at one time, do not expect them to be on time. And of course, let me clarify, because there's some people out there who are really not in the right mind.
Before moving to Brazil.
Every single Brazilian who have ever existed, who ever lived in Brazil, No, this is a generalization, which means it is a general thing. It is not every single one. But I have had multiple experiences where I've told the Brazilian person to meet me at this time, this place, and they end up showing not an hour late, but multiple hours late. And, you know, it's just better to understand that they tell you a time, it may be a rough estimate. And I know my people back home are thinking, hey, we do that too, and it's true. But just so you know, when you come out here, you will get that. And you could think, hey, Brazilians are liars because every time I tell them to come at 5 p.m., they show up at 7 p.m. But it's just a cultural difference. So don't.
I don't think you'll be able to stand that.
Honestly, if I know it, I would just start telling everybody 2 hours early. And then
So you're the late one?
basically, yeah.
Alright guys, last but not least, and I have to tread very lightly on this one because I know there's some people out here who are going to get mad at me. And look, I've seen videos like this, not in this specific format, but differences between cultures, and there's some stuff I get mad at. Like, hey, that's not Americans, don't say that. But I got to say it because I'm out checking and I want my viewers to know. So, just so you know guys, number 10 are Brazilians may take some time to warm up to new ideas. What do I mean by that? So I'll give you an example. Brazil has their own culture, amazing, and they run and play and jump to their own tune, and they're very into their stuff. But sometimes, as Americans, when we come here, some of the stuff we do is ridiculous. Let's be honest. Some of it is just off the wall. And some Brazilians do not understand why we do it. We do, of course, because we grew up in one place and they grew up in another. But some of them don't understand why, and you may get a lot of pushback, or you may get a lot of questions. For me, I understand because I travel a lot, and I just try to educate, you know. For example, sometimes I'll meet a Brazilian, and we'll go out, and they'll ask me if I want to eat pork or something, and I'll be like, no, I don't want to eat pork today. And they ask me why, because, you know, pork is a staple, not just in Brazil, but in Latin America. And I'll explain, you know, hey, I think this about pork, or blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, well, that's not true, or, oh, I don't think that. And look, everywhere is different, but you gotta remember, in the U.S., we have different mentality about food, about different things.
For me, like, I kind of grew up around people like that too. So in my culture, I guess you can be also a little pushy, like at least in the sport example, like people will argue that, okay, yeah, this is not true. So I don't find it that shocking, but yeah, here I guess people don't really do that. If you say you don't want it, nobody's gonna go debate with you why you don't want it, you know.
And so it's not as let's say, it's not an emphasis placed on those things as such in the U.S. Even if you go to India, a lot of Indians don't eat beef. But if you come to the U.S., you have no clue because there's not that stigma on beef in the U.S. as there is in India, and vice versa. There's not a stigma in Latin America on pork as there is in the U.S. So just things like that you make.
There's a stigma on pork in here?
Like, some people don't eat pork, they don't eat pork. Like, it's stigma eating meat, some people just eat vegetables.
Find yourself explaining a lot of cultural differences, and trying to educate them. But just so you know, all right, that's 10 things. You need to come here. Come to Brazil. You got to come here to really understand what I'm talking about. I just want to give you guys a heads up if you haven't been here, or if you have been here and you've been trying to figure out what in the heck is going on here. Yeah, that's my perspective on it. So I'm checking this dude on YouTube that's not a YouTuber that jumps on YouTube and gives you YouTube videos, but he's not a YouTuber. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great time.
Guys, I want to take a minute to circle back on this point because while I'm editing, I'm realizing I didn't drive home the point that I wanted to get in. I'm guessing that I was just super fatigued. This point being the last one, and my camera was going haywire, so I was kind of rushing. But yeah, I kind of wanted to explain this point a little bit more because I think it's important. What I really wanted to say is that Brazilians can be a little bit, compared to other countries I've gone to, a little bit more closed-minded and a little bit more judgmental of things.
In the other video, closed-mindedness.
Wow, I don't
like, they
know.
have their opinions, and that's their opinions. We heard that before.
Really? I don't know.
That they are not used to seeing or experiencing. So, you know, that's something that can be hard to adjust to. It can catch you off guard. So I just want you guys to keep an eye out for that because...
To me, it's not shocking again because I do feel Lithuanians are also kind of close-minded. So I don't find this part shocking.
That's definitely caught me off guard. And just to circle back on the pork point, right? So when that conversation was going on, I just generally don't eat pork, just because of I don't like the things I've read about it as far as health. But I was with a friend of mine who.
But at the same time, though, like in his case, if you don't like pork, like if you don't eat because of health, but if you see people start giving pushback, just say, "Oh, I just don't like it." That's it. Like I don't like it.
No, he just doesn't want to have to lie. That's the thing.
Is Muslim, Islamic. So we mentioned that. Well, he mentioned that. I said I just don't eat it like that. He mentioned that, and they didn't understand at first, and I kind of got them to understand. I guess he put it in the translator, and they were like, "Oh, boom!" Like he started making bomb sounds, right? They just didn't they just didn't get it. And it makes sense if you're in a country where there's not a lot of people who practice that faith. That all you see is and all you hear about on the media is people from that faith blowing stuff up and being in war and all this stuff and 9/11, right? So that is something to keep in mind, that when you have these conversations or when you meet Brazilians, they may not be as open to ideas.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, if he knows that, then just don't share that information.
He doesn't have to lie.
It's not lie. It's if you don't share, it's not lying. You're not lying. You just don't share it. You just don't tell it. You don't have to be an open book.
Well, if someone asks, he feels like he wants to share. He doesn't want to have to lie.
I don't know. I would just not tell.
But you want people to accept you for you. That's the power that you have as an individual.
But if you see that they're not accepting, then
but that's how you know if you don't share. Like, you want to live your true life.
Right, but
I understand him.
Okay. Are accustomed to you. So it's good to go in there and just have patience. And like I said, try to educate, because after they made that comment, of course, we try to educate, like, no, not all Muslims do that, so forth and so on. And at the end of it, they were like, oh, okay, we get it. And I found myself having those conversations quite a bit, more than in other countries, for sure. What's up, guys?
All right.
Okay, guys, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the
You
Discord.
like the shirt?
And as always, share as much kindness as possible.